like that 송 신선하게 원옥주 홍대 중저축을 깠지 I know your friends 해 불러올래 어둠 많은데 Little black dress 송 신선
Hey everybody, this is HQ again. I'm back at it. Here we have a young man who is in the throes of a nightmare. We don't know whether he did it or his woman did it, but we finna find out what the hell went on with this young man. Let's see.
Never.
Okay, you want me to call you T Candy?
Yeah, I meant to change the name before I got on there.
So what's your name? What you want me to call you?
You call me Tony.
Tony?
Mm-hmm.
Tony, where you calling us from?
Los Angeles.
Okay, stop moving. LA, how old are you?
I'm 40.
Oh, I'm happy you gave us more light. 40. What's your zodiac sign?
My birthday is August 25th.
Oh, you just had a birthday, so you're a Virgo.
Yeah.
Tony, LA, turn your music off.
It's my background.
Okay. What you do for a living?
I work in Veterans Affairs.
You work in what, baby?
Veterans Affairs.
Veterans Affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, it's loud. You in LA for sure.
I'm gonna close the window.
I hear the police or the ambulance. You have any kids, Tony?
Yeah, I do. I have a son.
How old's your son?
He's 14.
14. Have you ever been married?
Yes, I have. That's what I'm quoting.
When did you get divorced?
I haven't.
You haven't got divorced?
No.
What you calling me for then if you still married?
Because.
Cause what?
I don't want to put something on you today.
I can't hear you.
I said, I'm kind of like looking for, I know you're not a doctor.
I can't hear you. We need a lawyer. Oh yeah, you looking for a lawyer so you can finalize your divorce?
I'm not.
Aren't you looking for somebody to help you finalize your divorce?
Not even halfway. I seen how you helped a couple last week. So I know that's not what you normally do, but you know.
What couple did I help last week?
It was a young man. He came on your show last week, and I don't know his case, whatever the case may be, but he was separated, which is something like I was, and the young lady ended up coming onto your show, and I wouldn't say that you kind of like put them back together, but you kind of set the tone for them to be back into like.
Okay, is this gonna be a new feature? So are you trying to get your wife back?
I would hope that it would be like, I know you don't normally do that, but once a week that would be cool because I really want to be my wife back. I really do.
So how long y'all been? Okay.
You know he called the wrong show, right? You called Kendra G, who barely have time to deal with regular people, and she deal with dysfunction, unmarried dysfunction. She don't deal with unmarried, functioning dysfunction married people. That's a whole nother thing, right? This, and he's 40 years old, he should know he needs a professional. If you're looking to get your wife back, you need a professional. Now, unless your wife watches Kendra G, you shouldn't be on here doing that. She might get the wrong impression. But we're going to listen to him anyway, because he came on here, and I haven't heard this story. So let's listen.
Hey, what's the scenario with your wife? What happened?
We got into an argument, and basically a third party called some authorities, and she got into some trouble. So she basically got a lot of animosity toward what I did to her and everything that took place that day. But no infidelity.
Why did the authority? Did it get physical?
Yeah, it did.
On whose part? On both of y'all parts?
Yeah.
So y'all been separated ever and since when?
Since like 5 months ago.
Okay. So listen, I don't condone violence at all. And
wait a minute, how does it get to the point? How does the marriage get to the point where this is the time that you guys start fighting? I mean, have you guys fought before? And if you all fought before, have you ever been in counseling before? Because if you're on here saying this was the first time, then there's very much something going on right now that's an issue. If you always fight, why you dragging us into y'all bullshit? If y'all always fight, it's either one or the other. Which one is it?
And I don't know what happened, but if it got violent, that might be a good reason for y'all to be apart. No?
No.
Why not?
Because we've never experienced like no heavy like violence, and it wasn't like, it was more so like things like being
why did it escalate to violence?
Because I was I was working that day, and she had her reasons, but she was under the assumption that I wasn't at work, and before I could even get a chance to like explain the things that I was trying to explain to her, as far as why.
See, it's more to the story than this. Why would your wife have such a violent reaction to you not being at work? Has this happened before? Have you said you were at work before and you weren't at work? I'm thinking it has happened before, or she has a reason to think that you're being deceptive. Which one is it? I'm not saying it's your fault, young man, but what I am saying is this. What reason does your wife have to not believe you when you say you're at work? What did you do in the past that made her start to doubt you?
How I wasn't doing what she was doing. I had complete proof, but she was like really, really mad. And before I could get it out to say anything that I wanted to, it escalated to where it went. But
who hit who first?
Huh?
Who hit who first when it got violent?
She grabbed me, and we just basically like kind of like got into it.
So when's the last time you talked to your wife?
I talk to her all the time.
So what is she saying? Does she want to try to work it out?
I believe she do, but
No. You did something. You did something that made her get outside her body. You did something prior. I'm not saying it's the violence, but I'm saying that's on top of what you did. She believes you did something, and on top of that, the law was called. Now, why was the law called, and what happened?
For obvious reasons, she got animosity toward, because she never experienced any of that. She never went to jail. She never went to.
So why did they take her to jail and not you?
Because the police came, and she was pretty much trying to like stop me from like going haywire, and pretty much when they put up on her, she seemed like the aggressor, and
So she seemed like the aggressor. So why exactly did you not take the rap for her? Why didn't you say, I'm the aggressor, take me to jail? I thought that was an option. I didn't know it was not an option for you to take. Because usually when people are pulling up and you're the one that's the aggressor and she's trying to stop you from being aggressive, then they would take you to jail. Why is it specifically that they didn't take you to jail as opposed to her? And that might be why she's angry, because you didn't take the heat.
So she got arrested, not you.
Yeah.
Ooh, child. And so what? So you want to plead your case to your wife right now? What do you want to say to her in front of the whole world?
I want her to know that I love her, that she is everything to me, that I've learned a lot. Like as far as accountability, I don't press it. I would love for her to take accountability for certain things, but it really don't matter right now. I have a I made a covenant before God, you feel me, to love her for the rest of my life. And some of the major things that make the grounds for divorce haven't taken place inside of our marriage. So I feel like if there's no infidelity, no serious physical things going on, like it can be worked out.
Your wife went to jail because of physical altercation. That's up there with infidelity.
Yeah, but here's the thing. His wife thought he was doing something. Now, he said infidelity did not occur. What has occurred? He said no infidelity and no physical violence between them, not majorly. Okay, so that leaves only a couple things. Is somebody doing extracurricular activities like drugs, alcohol, hanging out at go-go strip clubs, gambling? These are the things that lead to a divorce, lead to a woman leaving, lead to a woman being angry. He said there was no infidelity. He said there was no physical altercations except maybe that one time, not really. So that only leaves drugs, gambling, alcohol, strip clubs. It only leaves those other things that can damage a relationship. She's saying she doesn't want the relationship. So which one of those things did you do? Okay. She did not believe him when he said he was at work. That means he has disappeared from his job before and she was looking for him. That's what he said at the beginning. My wife said that she didn't believe I was at work. So where would your wife think you would be if you're not cheating, gambling at a strip club, doing drugs? What? It's something like that. He just hasn't said.
Going to jail after a fight with my husband is up there with infidelity.
Right.
Did you bail her out of jail?
Yeah.
You did. So y'all are living separately?
I came back to Los Angeles. This is where I'm from, born and raised. But
where does she live?
In another part of Southern California.
Okay. So when you say you talk to her all the time, she's not willing to reconcile.
I wouldn't say that. It's just that it's like heavy right now. Everything, even though it's been a few months, it's still kind of like fresh. So
yes, of course it's fresh because she doesn't believe what you've been telling her. She doesn't believe what you have been telling her. And you have been telling her, I'm not cheating. But cheating is not one of the worst things that can happen. You did something else. You did something else to lose the trust of your wife. And then she ended up getting arrested because she was so angry with what you did or perceived what you did that she was arrested. And he's not telling what he did. He's not telling that, right? He's not telling. Maybe he got a drug and alcohol problem. Maybe he has a gambling addiction. Maybe he has a sex addiction, porn addiction. Maybe he has some, but he has something that's going on that leads her to believe that he's not worthy of coming home for her.
I understand their standpoint of why she feel the way she feel, and maybe a part of it is like, her family, and which is people I love. They kind of know the circumstances, so I don't know if it's good or bad. I can't say either or, but maybe like things around her or what she's like hearing or whatever the case may be is what have her a little reluctant. But
do you think her friends and family are telling her not to go back to the husband that ended her up in jail?
Probably.
And then again, he could be lying to us about how much the fight occurred. He could have lied when the police got there and said she's jumping on me. He could have lied and said that He could have made a mistake when the police rolled up. He could have made a mistake at that point in time and said something way out of pocket. And she cannot forgive him for whatever he said to the police that made them arrest her. There's many things that we don't know because he's not saying, why did y'all have the argument? Why did she believe you were at work? Why did she believe you weren't at work when you really were at work? Has this previously occurred? That's the whole point. We don't have enough information to even have a judgment call about anything regarding this.
Would make kind of sense. But here's the deal, relationships do, one thing I do know, and I think this is one of the challenges.
We married though, too.
Okay. Yeah, you're married. Listen, I do believe in working stuff out. I'm going to say that. I believe that relationships, marriages, even further, go through ups and downs. And I have a lot of married friends. And, when on the gram, you see all the great times, but the hard times they keep to themselves. And I'm aware of a lot of the hard times my married friends have went through and made it through, right? I will say physical violence it's like a life situation, right? So I believe in working things out, but never if you feel like your life is in danger. So
we don't know whether she feels like her life is in danger. We don't know that. He's just telling us what this is his side. We don't know whether she feels safe in his presence. But then again, he implied that this has happened before, but not to this extent. He implied that it happened before, which means maybe she's looking as though this is an escalation and I can't go back home because it's an escalation. And I don't trust him not to escalate this. She could be looking at it like that. We don't know. He's just telling us what he wants us to know in a good light. Of course, people are going to tell you what they want to tell you so they look good in a good light. He's on here begging for his wife, wants his wife back. Why hasn't she come back? And it's been 5 months since she's gotten out of jail. Why? Because she doesn't trust him to come back home. He needs to do more than what he's doing in order for her to come back home. And he knows it. Look at the expression. The expression is like, damn, I don't even I want to be on here telling my wife to come home, but am I doing what she tells me? She did not think he was at work. She came home snapping. Okay, maybe she started it, maybe she didn't. But somewhere along the way, he convinced her that she could not trust him when he said he was at work. What was he doing? What has he done in the past when he was supposed to be at work and he really wasn't? Gambling, porn, addiction, drugs, who knows what it is. But it's something if it's not infidelity.
I don't really know the extent of the altercation. You are telling me you both were physical. You also are telling me she ended up in jail. So this is a lot of toxic stuff, right? Just being transparent. Can y'all work through it? I'm not a counselor. I'm not a therapist.
I know.
I think y'all would definitely need that though. If it is going to work, y'all gonna need not a Kendra. They calling it Kendra counseling. I ain't no damn therapist, y'all.
Yeah,
y'all gonna need to go to a real therapist if you want this to work.
Right. And I didn't call you for full therapy, but I feel like by default, you do kind of like your opinion kind of like has helped other people. I wouldn't even necessarily say it would help mine, but I just felt like I could come on here to kind of like, hopefully in hopes that she gonna probably see it, but that
well, we haven't said her name. Do you want to say her name? You can just say first name, not last name. It's up to you.
We could call her S.
Okay, S. So and to be clear, you didn't call me for another woman. You called just to get this message out to her.
To be exact.
All right. So S,
and I didn't call to disturb like the high, the normal setting of your show either. So I apologize.
No, you're good. Here we go. S, this is your husband. He called me to speak to you in front of the world, and he really wants to work his marriage out. Two people have to agree. He's not. I host a dating show, girl. I don't know if you know me or not. Hey, girl. What you doing, girl? Now this your husband, child. Now people usually call me looking for somebody else. He didn't do that. He called me to get a message out to you. So I ain't no damn therapist, girl, but I'm pretty popular on the internet, child. So this is the message to you. If you want your husband back, he wants you to want him back, and he's willing to do the work for your marriage. So now,
what work is he doing right now? That's what I would be calling him to ask. If I was a wife, what work are you doing right now? Have you addressed the problem that we got into the fight about? Have you addressed that problem? 2, why, if you were being truthful and if you were being honest when we got into the altercation, why would you need to get physical with me if you were in the right all along? But see, that's what I think. I think he didn't really fight back. He was probably trying to keep her off of him. And they got into a struggle, a fight, and the neighbors were like, hey, she out there doing blah, blah, blah. And they took her away. That's how she got took away. And we understand that. Some women can get physical. It is what it is. But the whole point is, what was he doing that made her go ballistic? And he's done it in the past. Whatever it is, he's done it in the past because he said, she thought I wasn't at work when I really was, and I had the proof. Nobody on it, no marriage needs to hear those particular words unless you have skedaddled off your job to do something else. I would not be looking for my husband if he wouldn't have got off his job doing some other bullshit. And that's the way she think. I didn't think you were at work because you got off your job and was doing bullshit like you did the last time. And she thought that's what was going on. And that's why she came home ballistic. So he did something to make her upset and make her go ballistic like she did. I'm not saying physical violence is any excuse. She didn't have no business putting her hands on you in no way, shape, or form. But you need to address the issue as to why she felt she needed to go to hell off like that. And it's still a problem in their marriage. That's why she hasn't come home, because he hasn't addressed that.
The decision is yours. If you want to proceed with relationship counseling and seeing if there is a way to fix your relationship. Do you want to close out, Tony, with one more statement to your wife?
To anybody that may see on my Instagram or like see me in traffic, I'm not in public much because what I do, I work a lot. I'm not single. I don't want to engage with in no type of shape, form, or fashion. My heart, my mind is set on being back with my wife and my children.
Oh, you have kids? How many kids do you have?
I should have said because it's the same. She has babies. I don't want to disclose, but they're mine as well. Okay. That's how I look at it. I accept her shoot, and I love her and the babies as much as I love her. So
okay. You got some paid questions. You ready for them?
Oh, so he doing the stepdaddy thing. See, sometimes stepdaddy, y'all be tossing men to the side when they become stepdaddies. There's a lot of men out here that are stepfathers. There are a lot of men who want to step up and do that. And I know a lot of you guys are saying, oh, she should be grateful that she has a stepfather. She probably is. But we don't have, this 2024, you don't have to put up with just any old thing because you got a baby prior to getting married. He married a single woman who had a baby. Okay. So he took on all that responsibility. Now he knows what he needs to do to get his shit together.
Go ahead.
LII said, that's right. Get your wife back, bro. Make Black marriages work.
Right. Thank you, bro. Okay. I appreciate it.
True Seeker said he's physically violent. He allowed his wife to go to jail. He could have stopped the cops from arresting her. We don't want him.
See, we don't know that. We don't know whether he was just trying to keep her off of him. We don't know that because he said when the police pulled up, she was grabbing him. She was the aggressor when the cops came up. So we don't know whether he did or he didn't. He said there was a physical struggle. So maybe he did. We don't know. We don't know the circumstances. Only he knows. But the physical aspect of it is the least important. the most important to address is, why did she think you weren't at your job? What the hell happened?
I understand. I appreciate.
Could you have stopped the counselor from taking her to jail?
No, I couldn't.
You couldn't. Okay, he said he couldn't do that. Key Y said Kendra, just let him go. There's a reason he's not able to reach his ex. Well, no, you're in communication with your ex, right?
Yes, I am completely.
Yeah. So he's in communication. He's just using this as, like, you know how some men send flowers? Instead of sending flowers, he wants to send a message to her in front of the world.
And she's not receptive to the message, because the behavior that broke them up, he's still doing, or she thinks he's still doing, or he has not addressed that issue, whatever that is. I'm positing that it's some kind of drugs, alcohol, addiction, gambling, porn addiction. It's something along those lines that made her say, why ain't you at your job? And he said, I am at my job. I am at my job. She came home and thought he was not at his job, that he's done this prior, guys. Whatever it is, he did it prior, and that's what made her go off.
See, that's why I mess with you. You get it 100%.
No, I get what you're doing. So yeah, this is like the when you send gifts, when you're trying to get your girl back, instead of doing that, he called me so it could be around the world, and she will see this. Absolutely, this will get to her. I'm quite sure. LII said, Mrs. Kendra are right sometimes, but you really need to go talk to a married pastor that's legit, bro.
You're right.
And one that ain't after your money, he should get y'all right.
Absolutely. You should speak to somebody that is trained in this kind of thing, trained in marriage, trained in relationships, trained in conflict resolution. That's the most important thing. Somebody who is trained in conflict resolution in marriages, in relationships. That's what I suggest for you.
Hey, you know what? I see counsel, right? And some in your opinion, is 100%. I don't mean nothing by it, but that comment is completely like right. Like, that's my intentions, is to get, because what it's founded on my marriage is a covenant between God, me and her. So I want to get an opinion from them, but I just happen to reach your show, and I know that you give good advice. You know, I don't.
Listen, I respect it, and I always tell people I'm not a therapist. I go to one. I'm not a professional. I can just share data that I've collected. But listen, again, I don't know the extent of the violent situation, and that's the only reason why I can't, back you 1,000%, because I believe safety is over everything. And now we're also learning that she's a mom. So, and then she got arrested. So you are up against a lot of hurdles, but with God, all things are possible. I think you definitely need a real counselor, like a real counselor. And LII, that was good advice. A pastor who can get y'all back together if possible. So ask this your husband, girl. He wants you back, girl. He wants you back, girl. So let's see what it works. You keep me posted how it goes, though, Tony, okay?
Sure, I appreciate it.
So my advice to this young man right here, my advice is, you find you a counselor and you address the issue that got you into the fight in the first place. Why does your wife not trust you? That is the big question. It has nothing to do with the physical fight. People can get past physical fight. If you just didn't do any serious damage, a slap here and there, people can get past it. I'm not saying it's okay. What I am saying is, you need to address what made her go ballistic in the first place. She thought you were not at your job. Why? Is there an underlying addiction problem? Is there an underlying what is it? A porn problem, drugs, alcohol, gambling? Is there anything like that in your say? You say it ain't infidelity. You say you ain't never cheated. You say you ain't never really got into an altercation before this. So if you have not cheated and you haven't gotten into altercation before this, then it's one of those other things. It's some kind of addiction, and she knows that you have an addiction and you haven't addressed it, and that's why she hasn't come home. has nothing to do with the physical thing, because most people can get past a physical thing. If it's a joint physical thing, they can reason that out in their mind. But it's something that you did before all of this, something you did prior to this, and you've done in your past, and you continue to do it. So I say you better address what the hell it is that she's scared of before you do anything. Otherwise, she ain't coming home. I wouldn't come home.